What's going on, everybody? What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Dollar Hour. I am Deonte Burden, aka Mr. Short Dollar himself. Listen, this is I'm doing a live feed because I didn't get an opportunity to do my live feed about 2 weeks ago for Mr. Short Dollar. So I've had a couple live feeds, but this is just a live feed where I want to go over some information with you guys of a question I get constantly asked all the time, and that's how to know if you have a good business idea. A lot of times people want to go down the road of entrepreneurship, and we talk about it all the time. People say, give us a call. Hey, D, what do you think about this? I want to get in security. I want to get in, become a day trader. I want to get into the transportation industry. I want to start a tax business up. And they, probe the ideas with me and ask different questions in regards to it. But what I want to go over with you guys tonight is just how to, take certain informations, ask those tough questions to yourself and be able to formulate a process, decide if you have a viable business idea. Because a lot of times, depending on who you talk to, and I always tell you guys all the time, make sure you're talking to credible, verifiable people when they're giving you advice in regards to whatever business endeavor or whatever you want to try to do in life. A lot of times people talk to people that are close to them that aren't, they can't give them solid advice, depending on what, avenue they're looking to go down, especially from a business standpoint. You ask if somebody that cares about you, loves you, good close friend, co-worker, and say, hey, what do you think about this? And they'll say, hey, it's a good idea, you should try it, don't be afraid. And sometimes you have people that actually have experience with it and say, no, it's not a viable option, you shouldn't be doing it. And people can just say, well, that person being negative, and they're stopping your dreams, when all the while they're actually the person you should talk to, and the person that's close to you, they don't know what the hell they're talking about. They love you and they care about you, and they're going to tell you, hey, go for your dreams, but they really don't know how to tell you or how to look at a certain situation to see if it's a good thing to do or not. I'm all about taking chances on yourself. I'm all about taking risks and things like that. But one thing I don't take chances. Risk is something that you've actually evaluated, done some homework on. You can sit here and look at different options and decide if you want to move forward. When you're taking a chance, you're just jumping off a cliff blindfolded and know the hell's in front of you. And you want to be able to see good counsel, get evaluated, gather information, be able to make sound decisions. That's when we start talking about taking risks and start betting on yourself and things like that. And a lot of times people want to take the most comfortable route possible, and that's just, really just taking a chance without knowing. So that's why I want to have that discussion with you guys tonight. Again, we're talking about how to know if you have a good business idea, how to analyze it, know if it's a good, viable idea. Again, I am Deonte Burden, aka Mr. Short Dollar himself. Right now, we're streaming live on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, LinkedIn, TikTok, and Twitter. I will be at the Misfits Radio studio this Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We got a show. What the hell is the show this week? I can't remember. I'll pull it up before we end this live feed. But I'll be back in the lab. I just want to make back up the one show that I missed a couple weeks ago. What we're talking about now in regards to how to know if you have a good business idea. Again, we're streaming live on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, LinkedIn, TikTok, and Twitter. The main hub is the Mr. Short Dollar YouTube channel. Again, that's Mr. Short Dollar on YouTube, where we talk about personal finance, business, entrepreneurship, and investing. We have over 700 videos on the YouTube channel. We have an active grants playlist with over 150 grant opportunities, cover business operations, business management, business finance. Definitely go to the YouTube channel, take advantage of all the great information there. And again, right now we're doing the live. We're talking about how to know if you have a good business idea. And analyze business idea is a crucial step to determine if it's viable and potential your success. Here right now, we're going to go over a couple quick steps that you need to do. And the first one you guys need to make sure you do is take good market research and, research the market thoroughly to understand the demand of your product and service. What people need to understand is that one of the key things I go over you guys all the time. When you're selling a product, you're not selling to yourself. So because you like it, your family and friends like it, that doesn't mean the majority of everyone else likes it. And depending where you want to actually put out your product or your service, be it on the web, be it locally, be it abroad, however, do people want that product depending where you're at? Especially if you talk about a certain demographic or geographical area, your neighborhood, somewhere around, you got to make sure that you've done that market research to depending on where you're putting that product or service at. Will it be, can it be sustainable where you're putting it up at, right? Some areas you can put, you have a little chicken stand, you want to sell wings and stuff like that. Some places that place will thrive. Some it just won't get any business at all. One particular business that I remember a couple of years ago, brother came to me. Him and his wife were looking at getting a smoothie franchise, and the area he was putting it in, predominantly back in neighborhood. It's kind of like in the hood, and I'm not tripping on the hood. I grew up in the hood, but ain't nobody in the hood want a damn smoothie. And in his mind, because he likes smoothies, every other people like smoothies. But I'm like, nah, man, that's not. I don't think that's a good location for doing it. But then sometimes, remember what I said, guys. We have what we want, then we have what's viable out there, and you got to be realistic with yourself to understand, pull yourself out of the mix. And that's why I say sometimes you got to make sure you're talking to the right people that can give you right advice. Remember those two things: they got to be credible and they got to be verifiable. That's the people you're talking to. When you want to, you go, boy, hey man, I'm proud of you and stuff like that. That's what family and friends are for. When we start trying to get information in regards to, something being verified, being viable, being sustainable, things like that. When we want to get good, solid information where we can make some tough decisions, you got to make sure you're talking to the right people. So make sure you do that market research, because again, certain businesses just not going to thrive in certain places, right? And if you're actually going to do with something, just say something that's virtual on the web or anything like that. Can you put the right amount of money behind it to actually go to your particular customer? Sometimes you may have to market on physical radio, internet radio. You may have to do it on social media. Do you have the right channels in place and the right amount of money to reach those particular people with that? So that's why the first thing I do, you got to do that market research. Remember, just because you want it, just because everybody like eating your pies, eating your chicken at a family reunion, everybody think you do good work as far as, with the t-shirts and stuff like that, that doesn't mean that the vast majority of people want to do it, or enough people that will buy your product for it to make sense for, you to make some kind of profit. And if you just want to do it for the love or anything like that, that's it. But we're talking about business. We ain't talking about a hobby, right? We in business and stuff like that. We are in business to make a profit, right? We don't just say we in business, just say we in business. We got enough people on the internet and social media for doing it. I'm 20-some years in the game. That's why I can be straight up with you. There are a lot. I seen videos today, a lot of videos where they were getting all this information about getting your trademarks, getting your logos, and all the other kind of shit. At the end of the day, you got to make sure you're getting money. That's what we're in business for, to get money, right? That's what we're here to do it. Just to say I got this LLC, just to say I got this logo, just to say I got all this stuff, and your bank account still look the same, we don't need that, okay? We got to make sure when we get in these businesses, we're getting in businesses to make money, okay? Legitimate businesses. I'm not talking about the hustles, no cutting corners, anything like that. Businesses actually put you in a whole different stratosphere, from social, financial, and emotional, where you feeling good about yourself. You got this business, okay? But we're definitely number one step. Make sure you do the market research. Make sure you do the market research to find out if that product or service is even needed, especially in that particular area you're in. The second thing is the unique value proposition. Here's the thing about that. It defines what sets your business idea apart from others. And again, what I always try to say to you guys, remember, when we going in business and stuff, a lot of times you want to, I'm a problem fixer. I solve problems for a living. People come to us outside of tax season from a consultant standpoint. Business is getting slow. We need to reach certain customers. We need to trim fat. I fix problems for people, small businesses, things like that. When we start looking at a unique value proposition, we're kind of looking at what sets you apart. Now, when we say what sets you apart, it doesn't necessarily mean from a what's going on, open mic. It doesn't necessarily mean that it's setting you apart when you look at your business and your business is different. Sometimes it can be certain ways they can be internal. When you have two businesses, and what I mean by that, you have two businesses side by side, right? Selling the same product, and from the look of it, it looks like they're the same business, but because this business may be operating more leaner, what I mean by they have a cheaper lease. They use maybe cheaper products, cheaper services. Cheaper doesn't necessarily mean worse or anything like that. But both businesses are pulling in $100 a month. But this business has $85 in expenses. This business has $50 in expenses. But for all intents and purposes, we're looking at it, they look the same. Then we start talking about that unique value proposition. You have to kind of see what's going to be different with you. Sometimes you can sit and say, well, we can get things done faster. We can get things done better. We can get things done cheaper. However it is, what kind of sets you apart? But don't get so stuck into the package that's delivered. It may be how you're functioning too. So you got to kind of understand that when you're looking at business and stuff, because far too often people look at certain businesses that are out there and say, well, they're doing this. I'm going to go into the market being a cheaper person, right? You can go into business and being a cheaper person. Remember, when you go into business being a cheaper person, people always remember you for being the cheap person. I always remember that. So when you say, I've been in business, I've been doing this for a year or two, and we feel like growing, we're going to increase prices, people are not going to be doing that because they didn't value the actual product or service that we're giving you. They can't use because you're the cheapest. I always remember that. Quality, psychology, all that stuff, at the end of the day, you got to understand how people think, right? Right and wrong ain't always going to be the best thing for, that when it goes in the business. You got to look at it from a common sense standpoint and understand people not always going to be indebted to you because you're doing right, give them good product and service. Like I said, they just come to you because you're the cheapest, or you might be the closest. Well, we got Marie said, I'm so glad I caught this live. I'm in the process of bringing my idea to life. Awesome. Well, I'm glad you tuned in, Marie. Make sure you subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Remember what I said, guys. Make sure you go to Mr. Short Dollar on YouTube. That's the main platform with all the videos at. So, again, regardless if you're on YouTube, Instagram, LinkedIn, TikTok, or Twitter, make sure you go to the YouTube channel. Appreciate you tuning in, but that's the main hub. Over 700 videos. We're close to 800 videos right now on the YouTube channel. Go there and take advantage of all the great information there. So, again, we're talking about how to know if you have a good business idea. And we're looking at the different things that you need to assess to know if you got a good business idea. And the first one was being make sure you do your market research. The second, that unique value proposition. And then the third one is kind of what we were talking before, just feasibility and resources. And what we mean by that is feasibility and resources. You got two arms, you got two legs. You know what you can do from a capacity standpoint or what you're able to do. A lot of times people don't want to be honest with themselves about, who they are, right? When we start talking about feasibility, you know how much money you got, you know how much time you got, you know how much knowledge you got, right? So we start talking about feasibility and resources from a marketing standpoint. I'm not a creative person, right? I'm very good from an operational standpoint. I can break stuff down. I'm former military. I know how to actually manage and do things like that. I'm awesome with numbers and forecasting, projecting. I'm not a creative person. So when it comes down to like doing advertising and just thinking of certain things and stuff like that, I have to try to reach out to people or find, different ways I can get things done to deliver to people. That's not my forte. I understand that, and I'm not going to waste time trying to figure that out. If that makes sense. We all have to make sure we understand it. If you're great at cooking, you're great at building, you're great at fixing, that's great. Understand your shortcomings when it comes from actual a business standpoint. If you don't know how to market, you don't know how to manage, you don't know, you're not really good with finances, how realistic can you get the people in place to do it? And I'm not talking about having your husband, having your girlfriend, having your child do it because you don't have time to do it, just going to put them in place. You do not want somebody messing up your business because, you're just trying to make something that's keep it in the village or keep it in the family and stuff like that. You're not going to be in business long. I was thinking earlier today in regards to from a customer service standpoint, how a lot of times businesses, I think they're so engulfed with. Because I was talking to a customer service with a home warranty company earlier, and the people from it had to be India or something like that. I didn't know what the hell they were saying. Now, and I don't think they were really interested in me understanding what the hell they were saying either. But because we know so many corporations outsource customer service because it's cheaper to do that and stuff. But understand, like that's who's running to your actual customers. Now, sometimes, depending on what business you in, a lot of times people are locked in, so it doesn't matter. But you got to be realistic about the people that you have in place with this kind of stuff that's actually dealing with the customers. You got a rude person on the cash register. How many times that happened? You got somebody actually, when you make a service call, they don't know how to talk to people. They move too slow. They're making mistakes. That's not going to be extremely detrimental to your business. So you need, when we start talking about feasibility and resources, how much do you have? When we start talking, when you're in business, you got to advertise, you got to market and stuff like that. You got to have insurance for certain things. Do you have enough money to do that? Right? And we don't have enough money. Do you have the capacity to go get, borrow money and think? You got to take all that stuff in consideration. I know it's inspiring when you hear people talk about they just went out there on the whim and took a chance on themselves and they just went out on faith. That is so cool to hear. But there's so many people out there. I'm telling you, they have lost their cars, their homes, their families because they were too impatient and to sit here and wait for everything to fall in place. Ain't nothing wrong with not having something. There's nothing wrong with just prolonging something a couple more months. I'm always trying to transparent with you guys. When I worked in corporate America and I had my business running all those years, when I said, okay, cool, I'm going to go 100% self-employed, it took me almost 2 years to get financially to a point where, look, I can live off the bare minimum and my family ain't going to sacrifice. My family won't be hurting, with me doing it. But it took me almost 2 years to get financially to that point. I wanted to leave. I hated working in my job. I hated it. I hated to get up in the morning, dealing with those same damn people. But I had to be realistic. Like, look, I'm not finna go. What I wasn't finna damn do is leave my job, work for my damn self. The shit don't work, then I gotta go back to another job. No, I was not gonna do that at all and stuff like that. So that's what I'm saying. You have to make sure that you're taking all the right steps to get everything in place the proper way. Okay. All right. So when we start talking about feasibility and resources, knowing, okay, realistically, do you have the actual capital, not just money, but from a human capital, that being the people in place or what your capacity, and also the actual resources being money and things like that, or access to capital, credit or anything like that, to make your dream come to fruition. We got right here. Really laughing at me. I'm sorry. but one thing about it, I do want you guys to understand. We start talking about business. I'm very passionate about business. I've been an entrepreneur over 20 years, and like I say, I've had several businesses over the years and stuff. And majority of them been okay. Some of them been very successful, but I've had enough of them that I just messed the money up. That's why I can tell you, I definitely know how to mess up money. Most of the time when I made mistakes in regards to business is because I didn't take the proper steps and I knew better, right? I knew better. I had a music studio. I had no damn business getting into it. We started talking about feasibility and resources. Weren't interested in it. Trusted somebody more than me sitting there going through my steps where I tell other people to do. Lost out on it. I've had investment properties where I knew damn better than do it because I trusted this person. That don't mean nobody did me wrong, but I'm saying I knew better for me to get into it. But because, hey, this is going to work, I heard it. No, I shouldn't have did it. And this is shit that has happened in studio about 20 years ago, but I messed up with property within the past 10 years. That's why I can sit here and tell you, no matter at the end of the day, when I know better to do something, those same things can happen, right? So you have to make sure at the end of the day, you assess yourself. Make sure you do that honest assessment, what you can and can't do, what you're good at or bad at. That doesn't mean avoid things, but just try to find ways to mitigate losses, right? Put things in place to kind of where you're short at, you can build up, you got another person there or the people there to kind of, cover up the things that you're short at. Maria's, my goal is to open up by the end of 2024. That's cool. It's cool. And when I say this, guys, I'm not saying that you have to put things off, but it just makes sure you got proper planning in place. Okay, again, we're talking about how to know if you have a good business, how to know if you have a good business idea. We're just going through a list of them. The next one is financial projections. You guys know my numbers guy. We got videos on break-even analysis, how to price products, how to forecast, and things like that. Make sure you go to Mr. Short Dollar on YouTube. Got videos on all that kind of stuff. You know, I'm a numbers guy. That's what I do all day and night. So make sure you go check those videos. When we start doing those, I teach you guys how to do analysis with that. It's free on the YouTube channel. So go to the YouTube channel and check that out. But the next one is financial projections. Create realistic financial projections. Estimate your startup costs, ongoing operation expenses, and potential revenue. Determine how long it might take you to break even and start generating profits. This will help you understand the financial sustainability of your idea. Remember, I got the video on how to calculate your break even point. Guys, it's so important that you understand the numbers got to work. Okay, we don't function business. You don't function in feelings. We function in numbers. We start talking about break even. Remember, we have our fixed costs. What it's going to cost us to run that business. What it's going to cost: rent, utilities, insurance, and things like that. We know we selling everything for $5, whatever. You divide that net, you'll know how many you got to sell, right? You know that. And at the end of the day, you got to be realistic if you can sell that many. Okay. Remember, check out how to calculate a break-even point on Mr. Short Dollar on YouTube. Those numbers are numbers. You can't get around it. And that's what I'm telling you, one of the main things that kill people when they go into business. They do not take time to do their financial projections. They do not have time. They'll sit here and come up with a price. They know what everything costs, but that's what you have to do, guys. You have to actually go over all that analytical data. And if you can't do it, go pay somebody. I'm telling you guys, the money that you spend on getting that accountant or getting that consultant or getting that business attorney, I'm telling you, the money that you spend on that will save you so much damn money in regards to trying to keep your damn doors open because you didn't know. Because here's the deal. You're either going to pay for it regardless, because so many times people don't necessarily come to a person like me on the front end because you don't have to come to me. There's no barrier to entry. You don't have to come. You don't have to get an accountant. You don't have to get a bookkeeper. You don't have to get a consultant to open it, right? You just got to get your LLC, tax ID number, bank account, and boom, you're running. But you still don't know everything. You know, we start talking about those financials and things like that. You don't understand the profit and loss, income statement, cash flow statement, balance sheet, how to read them, what's the value of them, anything, how to assess that stuff on a weekly, monthly, quarterly basis to know what's right or wrong. It's just numbers to you on paper. So when you come to us, that's when things getting kind of dire need. I go through this every day, guys. And when you come to us, most of the time, it's kind of too late. You know, to be honest with you, get all that stuff done on the front end. Pay that money then so you don't have to be scrambling trying to do it later, right? That's the thing about it. You got to understand. That's one of the key things. We start talking about being the owner of a business. You work on the business instead of in the business. Your mindset got to change. When you at a job working, you're working it now. You know, you're learning your skill set. You're learning, you're perfecting your craft and things like that. But your vantage point a little different. You're looking at what's busy, what's going on, and how to do it. You may be working with customers, giving it to them. But when we start going to the ownership side of it, we're looking at cost first. Like when you actually working in it, you see the money that's getting made. You see the transactions happen, things getting sold. You see what's coming in. But when you're on that ownership side, now you got to see what's going out. And then when you're looking at what's going out, even what it costs you to do something, from that point, you got to be realistic. For the amount of money I'm spending to run this business, can I sell enough of these products or do enough of these services at this price to cover costs? And then on top of covering costs, to bring some money back to me to cover my life, right? So when we start talking about costs, that's the people that are working for you, that's included with that as well. So you got to make sure that you got all that stuff in place. Get these damn braces straight. But you have to make sure all those things are in place for you, okay? And that's why I think a lot of times people get missed. Like, I think we can do it. Don't ever underestimate that. Don't ever underestimate the financial side of it, guys. I'm telling you. Do not, it happens all the time. It happens all the time for one key reason. There's no barrier to entry. You do not need that accountant. You don't need that bookkeeper. You don't need that consultant to start. You can start without it. But if that is not your world, you better get somebody to help you do it. I can't stress it to you enough. I'm very serious about that. The next one is kind of branching off there as a revenue model. That's defining how you're going to make your money. Will you sell products, offer services, use a subscription model, rely on advertising? Clearly outline your pricing strategy and how it aligns with the value you provide. And what we mean by that is, are you scaling, just say premium product, just say if it's just mid tier, that means you maybe have a massage parlor where you're doing, charging $20 an hour. People can get off work and get a massage. You may have a premium parlor where you charge $100 an hour to do that, and your actual business model, it flows in line with that. That's where we go back to being realistic about those prices. I had a salon that was in just a lower middle class area. I couldn't right off, it was right off Old National. I won't say it was like hood anything like that, but it was decent. But I was realistic about the actual booth rent I could charge over there, right? Yeah, some places just say um, Buckhead, which is upscale part of Atlanta. Um, they may be charging $300-400 a week. And I might be off, guys, but just work with me. Maybe 2 or 3 times the amount I'm charging in booth rent, but I had to be realistic where I was charging. Here's the deal, guys. We start talking about just understand that revenue model. You still go back to the CEO knowing what the cost, right? Because my thought process, if I'm charging $100 for booth rent, and then my cost is $80, I made $20. If I'm in Buckhead and I'm charging $300 a week for booth rent, and my cost to do business was $220, I'm still making $80. Sometimes you got to be realistic what's going on. That's not necessarily always the case, but a lot of times it's still in that same damn neighborhood. The margins being what you charge and what it costs you to make it. That profit is usually a lot of times it's not too much different depending on where you're at, because the cost to do business in some areas just costs more. So you got to be realistic about, we start talking about that revenue model, how we're going to do it. And we start, if you got products, if you're doing a service, subscription based, I mean, let's just say you got like a club or something like that, we selling that, or if you're doing some kind of affiliate business going, you got to make sure that however you pricing these products, it aligns to cover your costs, but also not necessarily even cover your costs. It's you reaching that demographic you're trying to sell to. I understand it. A lot of times, what flipped me out a lot of times when you have people say they want to, especially in Atlanta, everybody's celebrity, upscale, and everything, and they don't know no damn body. They don't know. It blows my mind how people want to have an elite, upper tier business, and they don't know how to deal with those people, how to even speak with them. Don't even know how to align with them. They might got a cousin or somebody, they got a good job, but they might have met one damn celebrity. People don't understand that celebrities is probably half of 1% of the population. Like, you can't even I don't even know how you even maintain the business just trying to get that few amount of people to do it. But then when you start talking about, hey, don't realistically, if you want to deal with surgeons, attorneys, judges, hell, business owners and stuff like that, do you really deal in them circles? Do you really most time have contacts with people that can network and send you that kind of work? And it's being realistic. So at the end of the day, you got to be honest with yourself. When you try to set certain prices or do a certain business, you know who you mostly deal with, right? I'm not saying avoid things. I'm just saying be realistic about who you can attract to you, and also who you can actually deal with, because sometimes you can get into the dealing with certain things like, man, these folks are creepy. These folks are rude, this, that, and that. And they might even be creepy or rude, just that's how they talk with each other. But that's what you want to get with, and you're not even able to service them because you can't get past that. Sometimes you might say, well, listen, man, I'm just more dealing with people that say, just getting off work, they want to stop here. Boom, 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 boom. That whole Planet Fitness model. People come in and out, get in and out, those kind of things like that. You got to be realistic. I had a good friend of mine had his own gym for 20 years. He liked actual people that was engaged in working out, coming. He didn't like people fly by night, want to come in there, looking for dates, like the whole LA Fitness thing, it's most sociable stuff. He didn't like that. He wanted people to come in there and want to lift and clank with the weights. And that's fine, but you got to be realistic. He's retired professional bodybuilder. He could attract those kind of people. That's what you got to kind of understand when you start charging prices and looking at certain things. What can you attract? What are you used to dealing with? And if it's not you, do you have somebody in place that can pull that in? Being realistic about that, right? Not that you think they can, not you hope they can, or that you realistically can do it. You got some kind of track record doing that. So you got to be honest with yourselves about that. Again, we're talking about how to know if you have a good business idea. We just went through a couple of the next one, scalability, and that's consider whether your business idea has the potential to scale. I mean, can it grow over time without significant increase in cost or complexity? Scalability is important for long-term success and attracting investors as needed. What do you mean by scalability, guys? If you start off with the food truck, you start off with the food stand, can this model or this particular thing that you have, can they grow? Can they grow? Can they actually go to 2 or 3 food stands? Can they go to 3 or 4 trucks? Can it go to brick and mortar restaurants? Could it go to franchises? Does it have it in it? Right? Can it justify doing it, or just something that you can just make some extra money? When you selling hot dogs or sandwiches, Friday, Saturday night after everybody get out the club. Be realistic about that. And that's not to sit there and limit yourself, but again, you got to be realistic about certain things, right? And when you sit down and do it, most of the times you can put your feelers out there and just kind of see long-term, big picture wise, what can you do, right? Because one of the key things we can sit here and say, well, listen, I'm starting off with this and I'm gonna grow to this. What's one thing we got to make sure we got in? And I'm just telling you right now, I went to a homegirl of mine had a birthday brunch this past Sunday, and what was glaring to me, this place was packed, but it was totally understaffed. Totally understand, which is nothing uncommon right now. It's hard as hell for people to find work. They've came out yesterday, not yesterday, over the past couple of months. You hear Congress talk about it. We're in a labor shortage. I don't know where the hell everybody at, but nobody really wants to work. So no matter where you're at with particular business, people are not actually working at particular jobs. So when you start talking about scale and want to grow your business, who the hell gonna work at it? And you got to be realistic. Well, I can just find people. I want to pay people a certain amount of money. It's the whole adage of you get what you pay for. That shit don't even work no more. It don't more. You can pay people a lot of money and still you getting crappy employees, right? Just because you want to just give them that, there's no incentive because people don't want to work. I don't know what the hell's going on with that, right? But that's a nationwide thing that's going on right now and stuff. But you got to be realistic. When you talk about scaling and growing your business, can you realistically do that? For you to grow your business, do you need more money? Do you need more insight? And we have the people in there, what kind of skill level they need? Is it just entry level? Do you need some kind of capacity to do it? How much they need to work with people? How much reliability? All that stuff got to be taken in consideration. That's why I say it. Sometimes when we have the food truck or whatever, when people get out of the club or people getting out of church on Sunday, that's cool. But just because you have traffic coming down that particular day, that doesn't necessarily mean you'll be able to grow it to something bigger because again, the other intangibles. Sometimes we have demand. We can have demand where people want our product, but we got to have the actual infrastructure set up where we can get the actual employees, the marketing, the extra money to be able to buy supplies and things like that, or buy the food and stuff. We got to make sure we got all that stuff in place. That's when we start talking about scalability. Not just the feelings that because a lot of people want it, I can do that. That's not necessarily always going to be the case because just you wanting to do something, there are a lot of things that you can't control that's going to have to come to make your dream, work out. So just keep that in mind when we start talking about that. Legal and regulatory considerations. That's the next one. Research legal and regulatory requirements for your industry and location. Make sure your business idea complies with all the necessary laws, permit, license, and regulations. You got to make sure that whatever you're trying to do, i.e. club, i.e. daycare, i.e. if you want to train, be a sports trainer, whatever, is it zoned in the right area? Will they be doing certain things will they be able to stay open past certain hours, right? Can you sell certain, beverages or certain foods in there? And all this stuff got to be taken into consideration, guys. All this stuff got to be taken consideration. There are so many times people buy real estate or do certain things, sign leases to have a business there, and they have not went and met with the zoning department. They haven't got with an architect or a contractor to understand, hey, we got to get this restaurant. We want to get this restaurant. You found a place, and it was a previous place was there, but they closed. But then when you come in and want to open this new restaurant, code has changed. The other people grandfathered in, but now you got to spend $10,000 on a new stove. Now you got to spend another $1,500 on a certain kind of freezer. You got to change the wattage and stuff for the electrical box because you want to start a salon there. all this kind of stuff that you didn't know because you didn't do the proper research to find out, and it happens all the time. Now here's the deal: you done signed your damn lease, you done bought the building, and now you just find out. Listen, you so many feet away from a church, you can't sell liquor. And when you want to sit there and say, look, I want to do Sunday brunch, this area you can't do it. From 2 or 3 blocks in this area right here, this is a no drinking zone, no liquor zone. You can't do that. How many times you guys think people miss out on that? Because in the idea they want to start their business, so you got to do all this stuff on the front end. And if you and when you don't have those things in place, knowing the right people to just say, hey, listen, let me talk to my city councilman. Let me go meet with code enforcement or zoning and everything just to find out, listen, we may be looking to purchase this property or acquire this. Can we get some kind of amendment or some kind of addendum set up where we may be permitted to do that? If you got to go to a neighborhood planning union, you got to go to a zoning board meeting, a city council meeting to apply. And this happens all the time because I'm going to tell you something. I know like in the city of Atlanta, and most municipalities, where they have those certain zoning things are set up, it's nothing when you see a person just so when they want to open up a liquor store, they want to open up any kind of dollar store, anything, especially going off in the hood, they go to those meetings. They propose it and everything like that. They might even lie, so we're going to hire people from the neighborhood or whatever, and they probably just get Leroy or something like that, take the damn trash out, sweep the sidewalk or something like that. But they'll do that. They'll go to the meetings and get those adjustments made. So that's just saying to you guys, just make sure we start looking at business. Your idea is one thing, but you got to make sure that proper compliance can stay into it, because what you don't want to have happen, you open up a restaurant, they start shutting you down because they're getting you fines because you did this, that, and that, and then you're tripping because you feel like the city is tripping. They're not tripping. You tripping for not doing everything on the front end. I understand. It's one of the key things I always keep with myself from the military. There is no excuse for ignorance. I didn't know. Nobody told me. Nobody give a shit about that. You got to make sure that you've done the proper research. Remember, we're talking about how to know if you have a good business idea. These kind of things you got to make sure you're looking at, guys, because it's always gonna be tough to sit there and argue about something that isn't right. And when you say I didn't know, no one told me, they're gonna ask why didn't you ask? Period. And that's for all of us. So just make sure you try to do as much on the front end as possible. Make sure you meet with zoning. Make sure you meet with those people in code. Talk to architects, contractors. If you're trying to get a certain restaurant, a certain like that, hey, like I said again, the money you spend on the front end will be a whole lot cheaper than the money you see. If you got to stop operations, slow things down to try to get stuff fixed. So make sure you talk to the proper people. So again, that legal and regulatory considerations, please don't discredit that, because it happens all the time. You see these folks want to pull up, got a food truck, they don't have permits to sell in certain areas, they don't have the proper size damn truck, proper size stand. They see they're getting shut down. What was the big thing in Atlanta past couple of years ago? The young kids on the corner, the water boys and stuff like that. All this stuff just getting compliance. I understand you don't know everything, but just like now we having this show, I've told you. You've told you once. Listen, now it's on you to sit here and just start looking around. That doesn't mean you're not going to miss anything out, but you have to start looking and asking before you start spending your damn money. Let me find out as much as possible. Let me call around and see before I start spending my money. That's what you need to think like that. Before I start spending my money and trying to get this business set up, let me find out if there's any reason why I can't do it. Find that out first. It happens far too often. People think because nobody said that to them or nobody brought it up, because you have conversations. You guys know I smoke cigars all the time. I hear guys all the time. They say you can do it. Ain't nobody saying that to me. They ain't saying that to me yet. We'll see. No, hell no. Ask. Because at the end of the day, once you spend your money, you will never get reimbursed. You'll never get reimbursed for your time. So make sure that you check everything first to find that out. Okay. Make sure we're talking about from a legal and regulatory consideration. The next thing is a risk assessment. That's identify potential risks and challenges that your business might face. How will you mitigate these risks? Having a clear plan to address challenges that can demonstrate your preparedness to investors and stakeholders, right? People calling in sick, folks getting pregnant, people dying, Make sure you got insurance in place. Something catch on fire. What we got going on right now, smash and grab, smash and grab. These damn young boys run up in there, grabbing everything. Now you done lost 10, 20, 30, $100,000 in inventory. How the hell you going to get it back, right? All that kind of stuff got to be done. Do you have all the proper commercial things in place? Are you making sure that you got all the people that's working for you, they're properly licensed, they getting training? I seen a video the other day at a club. The bouncer hit somebody, and everything. Now, again, you got two things gonna happen. The bouncer done punched somebody, guy got drunk, said something out the way, bouncer hit him in the mouth. So now the bouncer got to get sued, security company got to get sued, and the club got to get sued. I hope all three are covered. These are the kind of things that got to be in place when you start talking about risk assessment, looking at it, looking at all the potential threats and risks you got and everything, and having the things in place to cover it. What's finna go on right now? What's the hurricane finna hit Florida? You got all that kind of stuff. You got to make sure you got stuff in place that can help it, because the storm come through, blow and tear your business down. Do you have the insurance to cover that, right? We always want to kind of think worst case scenarios. Worst case scenarios. I mean, with a contractor the other week, just asking about, hey, once you start opening stuff up, this not working. I like to be aware. I don't, I like to be aware of, hey man, the worst can happen. So now I can forecast my costs just in case. So I got my just in case, and if I'm projecting, I might have to spend $25,000 to get something fixed, and it maybe come up to 15. Great, but I damn sure don't need to be playing and hoping the best and think it's just gonna be 15, and then I don't do that, and they open it up, and I got to spend 20, 25 that I don't happen, because I don't know how to set up an OnlyFans page, and if I need the money, I don't know what I'm gonna do. So we got to make sure that we got everything set in place to be able to cover that. So again, that risk assessment, knowing all your potential risks, knowing all your potential threats, and find ways to cover that to mitigate any kind of losses. That's not, remember, when we start looking at certain things, that's not to make you quit. That's not to make you stop. It's to make you smart and be aware of different things that could potentially, halt, tear up wherever your business, okay? So we want to make sure we do that proper risk assessment, okay? Definitely spend time thinking about it, okay? The next thing, again, we're talking about how to know you have a good business idea. These are just different things that you need to go through in regards to this, making that decision if you have a good business idea. Remember, we're streaming live right now on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, LinkedIn, TikTok, and Twitter. I am Deonte Burden, Mr. Short Dollar himself. Make sure the main hub is the Mr. Short Dollar YouTube channel. So if you just coming into the live, or you have to leave or anything, go to Mr. Short Dollar on YouTube. You'll be able to see this whole video in its whole entirety. So don't trip. Okay. Again, if you feel like you missed anything, don't trip, don't worry, anything like that. Mr. Short Dollar on YouTube, over 700 videos on the YouTube channel already. Great information, just like we're discussing right now. But check this video out. Man, I forgot my title. How to know if you have a good business idea. Go back, check the whole video out. That way you can just look at it, stop, pause, go back, read over. He was talking too damn slow, talking too fast. You can hear it again. So make sure you do that. Go to the YouTube channel, subscribe. And again, we're talking about how to know if you have a good business idea. And we're just going through different things that you need to be checking. The next one's custom feedback. Gather feedback from potential customers or a focus group. This can provide valuable insights into how your target audience perceives your idea and whether any adjustments are needed. Give out free food, give out free services, go out there and poke and feel with people, get an idea. Remember what I said, just because you think it's a good idea, just because you like it and your family and your friends like it, doesn't mean everybody else does. It doesn't. And you got to be open-minded to listen to criticism. A lot of times, you ain't gonna last in business too long. You got thin skin. That doesn't mean that when people give you their opinions and stuff like that, that they're right. But you got to sit there and assess it, because sometimes people say, well, I think you should do this. I think you should do that. Yeah, they give me a lot of preference, but you got to be able to disseminate in regards to, okay, this is actual viable criticism, or to just people just run their damn mouth. Now, that's a skill in itself, because again, you won't want to put your feelings into it where, like, I don't want to listen to them. This is my dream. I'm going to believe in myself. Sometimes people just don't want that there, right? So you have to just what I was saying earlier about the brother came to me with the smoothie shop. I just can't see it. Can't see nobody in the neighborhood really drinking smoothies. Now, a middle class, upper middle class area. Yeah, people more health conscious and things like that. So they may want a smoothie. But necessarily go in the hood, he's looking like, well, we got a lot of black people there, and I want to put out some healthy stuff. We got too much of unhealthy things, unhealthy restaurants, the wings, burgers, and stuff. I get it, but that's what the hell people want to eat. They don't want a damn smoothie. They don't want to eat a frozen spinach, slushy, and all that other kind of stuff. They wanted some damn wings and burgers, and so you got to be able to provide that for them. You trying to force it down their throat while you don't got a lease, inventory, and all this other kind of stuff. That's not going to mesh with that. So you gotta be realistic with certain things. It's not what you want; it's what the customer wants, right? And that's what we gotta be smart about that. That's if you doing again brick and mortar, virtual, have a service or product you provide, be able to get input to find out, okay, it is viable right here or not. So remember, don't put so much your feelings. You want to have your passion in your business to make your business grow, but you cannot be trying to push your damn dreams on other people and people that don't want it. Now again, somewhere else you can find where it is, because some things you might sell, like I said, virtually. You can do brick and mortar things, but you have to be realistic about that. You got to be realistic. And the key thing is kind of get a little insight, customer feedback, pay to get a focus group. And I don't think they cost that much where you can actually pay, companies where they'll get like a room of people and they'll taste things and, just give you some objective feedback and stuff with that. If your budget doesn't constitute that, you can have a couple of tastings here and there and stuff. What I will say a lot of times, because I've been in different places, I smoke cigars. You have different folks that come out and bring their wine or bring their sticks and stuff like that. I don't think a lot of them guys built for criticism, because you're like, nah, they don't taste right, or the wine don't really good. I think they want people to just like, hey, it's great, it's delicious, right? Like, nah, no, it ain't. And they're not asking them. Tell you, they don't ask, well, what's wrong? They looking at it like, something wrong with me. Ain't nothing wrong with me. Ask me what's wrong, and I can tell you. I can articulate to you what I don't like about this. Now, you may say, well, that's how it's supposed to be, right? But then you can take that information. Don't have no damn thin skin with business, right? You cannot have no thin skin with business, right? I'm just telling you. Everybody's not going to like your product or service. Everybody's not going to like your idea. Everybody's not going to believe in you. But when you have to be realistic, who you trying to push this product and service in, what do they want to see, right? So that's what too many times when people ask questions, hey, it's good, right? That's one of the things people, I see when they give out stuff, hey, it's good. No, just, hey, what do you think? And be ready for an objective opinion. And you know, when you giving it, who you giving stuff to. If you're giving to somebody that's going to give you an ignorant ass response, I mean, come on now. But just be realistic. Like, okay, let me get it to some people that's really going to scrutinize it. If you got a wine or a cigar, let me take it to some cigar spots. Take it to a place where they appreciate wine. Some people that are gonna appreciate your food. Certain things, if wherever you can get some good objective opinion, right? And try your best. Try your best to do that, but don't have thin skin with it. That customer feedback is very, very insightful. I think far too often people skip over that because they can't handle criticism. Okay, but don't be like that in business. You ain't gonna last too long. The next one's team and expertise. Evaluate whether you have the right team in place to execute your business idea. Surround yourself with skilled individuals who complement your strengths and can increase your chance for success. I mentioned this earlier, guys. Got to make sure you have the right folks in place. I know you guys seen tons of videos, heard information in regards to hire the right people and stuff like that. It sounds good. The right people expensive too. They expensive. The dream person to have is that they at your business and they treat it like theirs. It's great, but damn, this ain't who cloned Tyrone. It's hard to get them. It's hard to get them. What's more realistic? You hire people, they work good, but they counting your damn money. They see you making this money, and they feel like, well, if you selling, you got this many people buying your product service, I should get more money. Or they're working your business so long and they see you making money, they want to leave and start their own shit. That's more realistic when you have people working for you. When you come on that side, when you have success, they either want more money or they want to go out there and do their own thing because they think they can do it just as well as you. They have no idea of how much you're paying. They have no idea what you're paying suppliers. They have no idea what you just paid in advertising, marketing, insurance. No idea whatsoever. They just see foot traffic. Well, we always say, don't get traffic confused with profits. Okay, so you got to make sure Finding the right people in place is, man, that's a whole science in itself. That's whole, because you're gonna go through some ups and downs. But I tell you this, guys, and I was football coach for 20 years, and I kind of look at it the same way. It's a whole lot. It's harder to find good coaches than it is to find good players. So when you got a good coach, you got a good employee, take care of them. Take care of them. Take care of them, because replacing them is not easy to do. Okay. And a lot of times it's not even necessarily about money. Sometimes you can get some person a little autonomy. You can get them a little bit more authority. You don't want to compromise how you have things going. But at the end of the day, you don't want to sit here and lose things because you arguing about, I think what I would say, you got majoring in the minor. You know what I'm saying? Just understand that it's it's very hard to find good people. It's very hard. So you got to make sure you got them, take care of them. Okay. Take care of them. Okay. The next thing is be aware of market trends and future outlook. Consider the long-term trends in your industry. Is your business idea aligned with future market needs and changes? Be forward thinking, and that can help your business stay relevant and adaptable. Let's use myself for example. When we first started tax business, that's 02, 03, rapid refund, quick checks, and all this other kind of stuff. Everything was going on. There wasn't really the whole do your own tax, H&R Block tax, TurboTax, and all those companies were more so. They were very offering to people more so. They just were doing it. It wasn't the market share it is now with the amount of people that's doing their own taxes. So it was a whole lot. It was easy. It was easy to get in the business. There weren't any federal regulations in regards to actually, preparers registering and things like that. And it was just it was Sin City. And yeah, so many people doing fraud and all other kind of stuff, overcharging things like that. But then you start looking at over the years, so many people were scheming and doing certain things. IRS, federal government got involved, got rid of rapid refund. Now they got other certain products where they may give you like a loan. Now preparers, everything got to get, and registrations, the fines that actually get tax preparers have increased and things like that. A lot more scrutiny. Now you got artificial intelligence, AI, that are screening the returns. It's totally different. And you got to be able to pivot and adjust. One of the key things I told you what helped us in our business since 14, 15, we're offering virtual and remote services. We were doing the Google Hangouts, we were doing the Zooms, the Go meetings and things like that. A lot of people weren't concerned with it, but when the pandemic hit, we didn't have to shut down like H&R Block and Jackson Hewitt and all the other places because we was already offering them services and stuff. That was a huge pivot and adjustment we was able to, take advantage of with technology. And again, things are going to always constantly change. We see it in the restaurant industry. You see the people ordering off the kiosks. You see the robots bringing out the food and things like that. You got robots going there, putting up orders in warehouse and things like that. Are you going to be able to pivot and adjust? Now we're talking about remote drivers and stuff for trucking, delivery, boats and stuff like that. Technology does what? Take jobs. It makes technological advances, make things easier to do for our lives, but it also takes, certain opportunities away. And you got to be able to pivot and adjust. At one point, remember, people's out there picking cotton. Come on, then we fast forward. We got the cotton gin, then we got mass production and things like that going. Industry's changed. You're right. We used to have a cassette tape. We had 8-tracks, cassette tapes, CDs, and everything's just downloadable. You got to be able to pivot and adjust. Okay, you have to be able to pivot and adjust. Things change, so you have to be already looking like this is coming, that's coming. I need to be ready to pivot and move and adjust. That's how you stay in business, right? One technological advance can just shut you down, totally down. You can't react, right? Look at Fuji. I mean, that was a Fortune 500 company that was producing all kind of film and stuff like that. Now, what the hell they at now? They still open. I don't know what the hell they do, but those kind of things can shut. And I think Fuji does a lot with video editing and things like that. But I know near the company that they were when they were producing film and things like that for people to take, with their cameras and stuff. So you got to be able to adjust to technological changes. Changes that may come for a certain area, this plant opening up, that plant closing, this company moved, this, all that kind of stuff has to be able to take advantage, not taking advantage, taking consideration when you're doing certain things. Okay, so remember that, guys. Make sure The next one is testing and prototyping. If possible, create a prototype or minimum viable product to test your idea in the market. This can provide valuable insights and feedback before a full-scale launch. So like I said before, that's kind of like with the feasibility and everything. With looking at that, you got the risk assessment. I'm sorry. You need to make sure that, if you got, certain thing you want to add, do a couple of tastings here and now. Again, you want to have a restaurant, the restaurant idea. And again, guys, I don't know if you guys understand it. One of the most dangerous business that volatile are restaurants, are clubs. I'm telling you guys, you will have the hardest time in the world to get a loan from a bank from a damn restaurant or club because they open and close so quick. So you got to make sure, guys, you want to do that. You want to, go out there and, do your prototyping. If you got a product or service, I think that whole food stand, food truck idea, I like that. Go out there and do that for a while. And then make sure, again, we start doing the food truck. I think sometimes people leave those food trucks and then food stands think they got potential to make more money because they in the bigger with a restaurant. But remember, along with bigger size come bigger costs and bigger headaches. So you got to make sure you're looking at that. It may be an increase in profit that you have, but the stress that come along with it, you got to be realistic about that, especially depending on what age you're at. Can you handle those certain things? And, can you make certain adjustments with it? So just put those testings and prototypes out there, especially people clothing lines and things like that. Go out there and, just see. This new shirt we're looking at putting out. What do you guys think about it? Sell a couple of them. Do people think it's hot or whatever? Or do you need to make some adjustments, change the colors, sell more? You made it for the fellas, but the fellas ain't really feeling it, but the ladies love it. What kind of adjustments you might add a couple? All this stuff got to take consideration. Remember, you go into business, you got what you want to do. But remember, you are not selling to you. You got to make adjustments, right? You got to make adjustments to them for what the customer wants. Take care of the customer going to take care of you. Remember that, guys. Do not get caught up in what the hell you want. There's a lot of people out there selling shit that they like, that they think is hot, but they ain't buying their products. So you got to be realistic about that. The food you think good, if somebody say, well, it's too salty, and again, we're doing it now. One person, that might be the allergy. Two people, it might be just something that come. But I'm telling you, if everybody's saying the food is damn salty, you might want to take some of the damn salt off the food. Just me speaking now. Think about that. This is the last one. This is very, very important. Personal passion and commitment. Evaluate your own passion and commitment to the business idea. Starting and running a business requires dedication, perseverance. So ensure that you're genuinely excited about the idea. Guys, let me tell you something. I remember when I first started my tax business, me and my ex-wife had started, we were young and everything like that. It was cool. It was all enthused with it and everything. She was a little bit more into it than I was, right? I was cool with doing it, but she was more into it. As we started growing, I got excited. And then in verse, she just wasn't into it as much. I got to be more into it and everything. And she stepped out of it. I didn't like that, but I didn't, me being younger, did not really, I wasn't mature enough to understand that everybody's not gonna have the same kind of passion. You have a life or something. Then when it starts growing, you got to put a little bit more into it. And I wasn't mature enough at that time because of my age. I'm still in my 20s to understand, like, hey, we're making money. Why the hell are you quitting? But everybody's not going to have that. When things are fun, it's fun. But when the fun go away and like this really is a business, we actually making money. But these folks cussing us out. We got stress. We working late at night. I got other shit to do. And this ain't really and all that kind of stuff. But you can be totally into it. And when you sit there and say that, look, with all the BS that's going on with this, I'm still excited about what I'm doing and stuff. That's when you know you got true passion going on with your particular business, right? You love it. You love it, right? What I would tell you guys, I work 20 hours a day, so I don't have to work 40 hours a week. I love doing what I'm doing, right? So I can just tell you, like, hey, man, this is it. This is it. People look at me like, especially tax season, man, what the hell are you doing? I ain't finna work that much. I don't care. I love doing it. And that's pretty much, that correlation when you're working with passion and you love doing it. One of the byproducts is going to be money, right? I love making the videos. I love, as you can see, I've been running my damn mouth for damn near an hour, and I'm cool. I have one little sip of Coke Zero. I'm going to get one more. But I love sharing information. I love running my mouth. I love talking and stuff like that. I can do it all the time. when you know that you can't sit there and have that kind of perseverance, interest and stuff, passion with doing it, you're not talking bad about yourself, but you know yourself good. Do that self-assessment. Ain't nothing wrong with it. Ain't nothing wrong with that, because what you don't want to have doing, what you don't want to do is you make some kind of commitment or something. You got loans, you got contracts, you got all these people depending on you, and you really ain't into it. Now you stressing about it. You bringing that shit home to your family. Now you messing up stuff with your health and all this other kind of stuff. You really don't want to be into it. You're killing yourself with this. Your finances messed up because you're robbing Peter, pay Paul. That's why I say, I know me, when I shut down my salon, I wasn't into it no more. I didn't want it no more. When I had a salon 17 years. When I opened it, I would get money to Deonte. I had money coming here, money coming there. I was cool with doing that. I was cool staying up all damn night long, working and doing that kind of stuff. I got to a point like I'm cool, but I don't need that money right now. I'm fine, but I could be honest with myself that I didn't want to deal with that kind of stuff. So just be real with yourself about what you can and can't do, or what you're not even interested in no more, or from liking to do it, health, money, family, and stuff like that. If you can't commit to it, don't get yourself in that kind of stuff. Marie asked, do they view juice bars same as restaurants? Yeah, if you're in the same way. If you're in the same way as far as juice bars, and it doesn't mean that you want to get financed with a juice bar. You just got to be able to sell it. How is it going to be viable? So that's why everything, when we start talking about it's a good business idea, there are so many things you got to take into consideration when you start having the business. Not just that, hey, this is a good thing. Where is it located? The demographic, be able to sustain. All this stuff got to be taken into consideration. Always, one key thing, guys, we look to get funding for a business. Turn the table around. Not that you're going to ask somebody for money. If you turn the table around, and if I was asking you for money to open up your business, what questions would you ask me? For you to give your hard-earned money to me, a complete damn stranger, what would you need to know to make you comfortable? And that's how you're gonna be pitching it to people, right? You got to have whatever heartstrings or whatever to get in your purse, to get in your wallet, get your money, because you ain't get no damn stranger your money. You ain't gonna get no stranger your money. What do you need to hear from them to make you like, okay, cool. I'm okay with that. That's how you need to look at when you start trying to get funding from investors and banks and things like that. That's how your pitch need to be. Remember that no business idea is guaranteed to succeed, but a thorough analysis can significantly increase your chances of making informed decisions and building a strong foundation for your venture, guys. And that's what I hope you guys enjoyed that conversation we had. Let me go through a couple things around the questions. Anybody got any questions? I've been having my lawnmower going. I didn't see nobody had any questions, and everybody tuned in. I appreciate you guys tuning in tonight. And again, we were talking about how to know if you have a good business idea. All those things we just went through. And remember, guys, if you just came into the live feed, remember, go to Mr. Short Dollar on YouTube. Check out the video in its entirety. How to know if you have a good business idea. Check the whole thing out and everything. But though you see right now from the conversation, there are so many different things you need to look at when you're just figuring out if you have a good business idea, instead of you just saying, yeah, I do this well. Hey, man, I think we can do this and stuff. It may sound good, but it should not work. It may sound weird, but it may be an awesome thing that's needed, right? That's the thing about it. What I always tell you guys, we're going to need two things. Nobody dare forget, thinkers and fixers. People that actually can create, make sure certain things are in place, and other people that can fix, repair. We're always going to need you. So if you can think outside the box, fix people's problems, you'll always be able to be successful in business. That's what I want you guys to understand, that you feeling like, hey, because I do something good, I can be successful with it. That's not always the case. That's not to talk you out of doing things you don't want to do, but you got to be realistic. And that's why I want you to have a conversation tonight, just to be thinking about, if I'm going to be doing this, these are a lot of different things I need to be considerate. Don't let that scare you, but just open your mind to sit here and just kind of go through it and assess it, okay? That's a wise man is always going to seek counsel. My wise person, wise man, wise woman, you want to seek counsel. Incredible and verifiable people that can give you reasons, things that you need to be looking for in the business. It's not to talk you out of it, but you just again try to mitigate those risks. Make sure you got things in place for that. Okay, so we don't just want to be in business, say we're in business, because too many people out here now got an LLC and a tax ID and a bank account, and they're making no damn money. They stress the hell out. All the money going. You seen that with all these different damn loans, the PPP, disaster loans. How many of them business still open right now? Because I give you the opportunity to do something, that doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be a good idea. You gotta be smart. You gotta be smart, right? So definitely, guys. If you just was in the live and you heard all the information, make sure go back and listen to this whole live feed again. Listen to the whole live feed again. Take your notes and everything like that. What we talked about and everything. If you can go back to Mr. Short Dollar on YouTube, look at the video again. It's entirety. If you got any questions or comments, put in the comments. Everybody knows that I respond to all questions and comments. You know, it ain't good or bad. If you say something that you didn't like, what the hell I talked about or whatever, you couldn't hear, just put on there. We'll fix it. I don't trip. I get everything that I hear get said back. You know, I ain't necessarily say I like it, but how you feel is how you feel, right? I'm doing this to help people. You ain't got to give me a hug or kiss. I don't need no sugar, nothing like that. So just again, if you have questions, you got concerns about anything we talked about, feel free to do it. But you got to go to the YouTube channel to do that. Do you do one-on-one consultation? Yeah, let me put the links in here for that. And right now, guys, if you're looking at us right now on TikTok and Instagram, I can't put you on live chat, but definitely again go to Mr. Short Dollar on YouTube. You'll see this the stream in its entirety. Let me put that in there. This is the link for consultation, one-on-one consultation. That's the link for that. I'm gonna put the link for the YouTube channel for Mr. Short Dollar as well, guys. Again, make sure you go to the YouTube channel, subscribe to it. You can Google it, Mr. Short Dollar on YouTube. It will populate up. You'll see this handsome face pop up, and you just subscribe to the YouTube channel. We go from there. Also, guys, you know I got my other YouTube channel, Change Your Lives, hosted by yours truly, Deonte Burden, where we talk about personal motivation, professional development, parenting, and everything like that. So you can go there as well. Put this link there. And also, guys, remember we still got the How to Start Your Own Tax Business course that's going right now. Definitely go there and check that out and put the link there. But if you go to Mr. Short Dollar on YouTube, all my videos, every video on the YouTube channel has all the links there. Guy even got the phone number to the office, got the company website, the links to the all the YouTube, all the social media platforms, the links to the course. If you want to book an appointment, all that information is there in every video on the YouTube channel is there. So definitely, guys, yeah, right there. I'm trying to sift through everything. Y'all bear with me. Oh, you're welcome, Marie. You're welcome. And I appreciate you tuning in tonight. I really appreciate that. But definitely, guys, Mr. Short Dollar on YouTube, every video. That's almost 800 videos on the YouTube channel. All videos in the description section of each video. Got all the contact information, okay? Everything's there with that. If you got any question, anything like that, put them in the chat or anything. So just let me know. Let's see what we got right here. Let's see where we at. Let me just try to go through the feed, see if I see anybody got any questions or anything. Guys, got any questions, anything like that? Please ask them now, or I shut everything down. That's a pretty cool conversation. What we got this week? Let me find out what the show this week on Misfits is, guys. Let me see what that is. We had a real good conversation. Damn, what the hell was the show last week on Misfits where we talked last Thursday show was, let me see. This Thursday, August 31st, going to be Mr. Short Dollar again. We're going to be discussing what can I do to acquire more customers? What can I do to acquire customers? That's the show this coming up Thursday, August 31st. It's going to be another show for Mr. Short Dollar. What can I do to acquire customers? Okay, I'm going to give you a whole breakdown of things you can do to acquire customers. You in business right now. You done set everything up. You got, like I said, we just said, you got your LLC, tax ID, and everything like that. But you own Facebook, you own YouTube, Instagram. You posted like hell, but nobody's come to see you. I'm going to give you a blueprint. I've actually done videos that's on Mr. Short Dollar in regards to how to advertise, how to market your business. But that's what the show is going to be this Thursday on Mr. Short Dollar. How to what can I do to acquire customers? So definitely tune in there, especially you in business, or you potentially looking to get into business, and you want to acquire customers and things like that. I'm going to give you different strategies that you guys can do to acquire customers. Okay. The show we had last week. So that was a changing lives. What was that? Oh yeah, raising adult children. We are raising adult children last week on August 24th. That was on Change to Live. That was a pretty good conversation. And August 10th, it was what is legitimation, where we talk about special fathers getting paternal rights in regards to children being born, folks being in relationships. They split up, and a lot of guys have signed birth certificates, acknowledging paternity, but they don't have actual legal rights as a father. Talking about legitimation, that was on Changing Lives. So definitely, guys, you can go to both YouTube channels, Mr. Short Dollar and Change the Lives, hosted by Deonte Burden, and check out all the great information that we have on both of those. Man, we had a blast last week talking about raising the adult children. And guys, when you go to the if you tune into the show this week, we had the call-in show at Misfits Radio. So definitely, guys, I announced the number when the show starts. But call in. You got questions, concerns, and things like that. Definitely call in, and we can discuss any issues that you may want to have. We have a blast at the studio, me and Lab on there. So definitely tune in this week. Again, we're talking about what can I do to acquire customers. That's this Thursday, August 31st, Eastern Standard Time. Now again, I'll be at Misfits Radio with that. But I'm getting ready to wrap it up. I appreciate you guys tuning in. Love you guys to death. Thanks for all the love and support. Remember, go to Mr. Short Dollar on YouTube. Mr. Short Dollar on YouTube. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Check out this video in its entirety. But again, it's like, I think it was 780 or 790 videos on the YouTube channel right now. Take advantage of the information that is free. You're looking to get into the tax business, look into the Mr. Short Dollar tax preparation course. Again, when you go to any one of the videos in the description section of each video, all of the information is there. All the social media platforms, my accounting business, Majestic Business Services, the link there, the number to the office, whatever, and everything. Take advantage of it, right? I'm extremely accessible, okay? Also got my book coming out probably in another month, my financial book and everything. So we're going to start marketing that within the next 30, 40, 45 days. Super excited about that to help you guys, give you that great information that's there. Your boy been putting in a lot of work, but again, we've been able to grow and be successful because of you guys supporting me. So I love you to death. Appreciate all love and support. Take care of yourself, and I'll talk with you soon.